This is legendary Leica's 50mm f1.4 Summilux lens, and I've been using this one on my Sony cameras for over 2 years now, and even though Sony came up with amazing 51.2G master, this bad boy is not going anywhere. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you my experience shooting this Leica lens for my weddings on my Sony cameras and why this lens has a life sentence with me. So let's go. Hello everyone, my name is Magic. I'm a wedding photographer, Sony Europe ambassador, father of 4 children. Welcome to my YouTube channel that is all about shooting weddings, photography, gear, and yeah, consider subscribing if you're into any of these topics. Okay, so let's talk this beauty, 50mm Summilux from Leica. I don't even know how to say it. Summilux, Summilux. So yeah, a little backstory first. So I got this lens a few years ago, and the funny story, it was when I was getting rid of my old Canon L primes. So like back in the day, I was shooting Canon. I had all the Canon L lenses, and even though I switched to Sony, I kept my Canon glass. I only sold my cameras. And then like after I think a year or two of these lenses just, you know, getting dust in my storage, I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna get rid of these old L lenses. So I took 3 of them, 24L, 50L, and 135L to my local camera store. I gave it to the guy, the store owner, and I'm like, hey, just give me whatever these 3 are worth. And you know, he said me what was the price, and it was like, nah, I want to get rid of these lenses for, you know, such a small price. But then I looked on the shelves and I saw this lens, the legendary holy grail of 50mm lenses. And since I enjoy shooting 50mm lenses, I was like, hey, how about this one? And he said like, yeah, this one is used. I actually can give you this one for 3 of yours. So I gave my 3L lenses for this one Leica lens. I got an adapter and I started using it right away. And was it worth it? Just like I said in the intro, this lens has life sentence with me, and there is a couple reasons for that. Like I'll start with this. So this is the only Leica product I own. I don't own any of the Leica cameras. I've never owned any of the Leica cameras. First of all, if you have never had a Leica lens in your hands, this lens feels amazing in your hands. It's quite heavy for how small it is. It has a focusing ring, since it's a manual focus lens. The ring is really great. It has this really nice holder here, and it goes really smoothly. It's actually a very pleasant feeling to be using that focusing ring. And then there is a aperture ring that is all mechanical. Listen, just listen to that sound. And it's very nice, although I find it to be quite loose, at least like the piece I have. So I often find it accidentally switching from 1.4 to 2.0 or 2.8. I know if any of you own one of these lenses, let me know if it's also loose for you. And then it has this nice lens hood that is built into the lens, a metal lens hood. I got the black version of that lens, like that was the only version that was in that store. And then to use it with Sony, I used this Voigtlander adapter. So actually, funny story, you can also get an adapter with AF, which is crazy. So you can mount your Leica lens on an adapter that has a motor and moves the lens back and forth and makes it, you know, lens with AF. I don't use it. I just use the very standard. This is the Voigtlander Vm Adapter 2. That's the name. So I use it on this adapter, and when I mount it to a Sony camera, it looks quite ugly, I'll be honest with you. The lens, it's a beauty, but combination of this lens with Sony camera, no. It's a little bit better with A7C. I quite enjoyed, you know, the whole compact feeling of that lens with A7C camera. And again, since you have manual focus. You just use Sony body for like sensor, right? To get that modern sensor with high ISO capabilities. And me personally, I use it on my Sony A7RIII camera, so 42 megapixel cameras. And before I'll go into the image quality and like how does that lens perform, using it on Sony camera is quite easy. You can activate focus picking to help you with focusing. I also customize my cameras to have like the center button used as a focus magnifier. So whenever I use this lens, I just magnify, you know, just zoom in to make sure that I'm focusing correct. And that works really, really well. Okay, but now let's talk the full power of this lens, which is its amazing image quality. So for me, that quality comes down to like the three qualities that this lens has. And you can see all of these three qualities in this one photo. So first of all, it's the character of the whole rendering of that image. The out of focus background blur is amazing. Second quality is the sharpness. This lens is actually extremely sharp for what it is. I use it on my 42 megapixel cameras. I've also used it on the 61 megapixel A7R IVs, and this lens is sharp. And then the third quality for me is the lens flare. This lens produces an amazing, outstanding lens flare that I really enjoy in the photos that I take. So like what is so special about those three qualities? Usually, so let's compare it to the old school lenses. Usually when you shop for lenses that would flare or have like really nice background blur, you shop for old school lenses, and you can max out like 2 out of 3 of those qualities. You can get extremely nice, you know, background blur, you can get nice flares, but then you most likely won't get sharpness. And if you look at these examples shot with Leica lens, like you get all of this. You get amazing sharpness. And also what I really enjoy about this lens, you get beautiful, beautiful colors, beautiful contrast. That's also not very common if you shop for old school lenses. So I also have like 50 Zeiss Bioder lens that I made a video about. You can check out this video on my channel that has amazing, like crazy bokeh and, you know, out of focus blur, but then it's completely useless for my work because the colors are quite off and like the overall image look just, you know, it's not consistent with the modern lenses that I shoot. Versus this Leica 50 Lux, it has like the nice beautiful rendering, then beautiful colors, then the sharpness. And then when you look at this image next to the image from any of the G Masters that I have, like it is consistent. You cannot tell that you are using something else. It looks great, but then it gives you, you know, those cool qualities. And how about this lens versus all the modern lenses? Because with modern lenses, you also get sharpness, you also get beautiful contrast and beautiful colors, but then you don't get that one thing that I personally really enjoy, which is the lens flare. So let's take 50 G Master for example, because I've had it for a longer while now. I'm still waiting for my piece. This is the piece that I borrowed from Sony, and I shot it over the weekend and I had a nice light and I managed to get that nice little flare. But then it's just a tiny flare, and that is me maxing out the flaring capabilities of the, you know, 50 G Master lens. Versus Leica's flare, check out these photos. Like this flare is crazy. It has the layers of flares. I've shot it multiple times, multiple weddings, and every time it gives me that beautiful, beautiful, you know, circular flare or that crazy fire kind of ish flare. And that is why this lens is always in my bag, because if I'm shooting a wedding and I can see that the sun is coming out and I have like a nice maybe 5-10 minutes of beautiful sunset, I'll take this lens, mount it on my camera, I'll pose my couple, I'll have time so I can manually focus you know, the whole situation and just nail this photo and create like outstanding effect with like the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flare. So at the end of the day, this lens has it all. And the only thing that it doesn't have is it doesn't have AF system, but I don't miss AF system in this lens for, you know, AF Actions, I have other 50s, and now I'll have a 50 G Master lens. So for most of the day I'll be using 50 G Master lens, but then this Leica lens will always be in my bag for the occasion that sun comes out and I can just use it for flares. And also at some point I'm planning to get like Leica, you know, film camera, like M6 maybe, so I can glue this lens to that camera and have this amazing, nice compact combo. But still, I kind of need this lens for my weddings as well, so I'll be all the time taking it to my wedding bag as well. And yeah, that's my, you know, flare monster Leica Summilux. I have a few more other lenses that I use specifically for amazing effects and flares that I'll be talking more about in the next videos. I'm also planning a video when I'll be comparing like head to head that Leica lens with that 51.2. I already made multiple comparison photos, but I need just that perfect light and perfect scenario outdoors with the weather and so on, just to have the right comparison for you guys. So hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and see you in the next video. Ciao.